What is the address of your emergency?
I am at 3747 West Montebello.
Okay, what's going on?
The house south of me just blew up. A man is on fire. The house is on fire.
Okay, I have some help on the way.
Huh?
I have some help on the way. I need you to calm down a little, okay? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, okay? And the house is just south of you?
Yeah, behind the alley.
Okay.
South of me.
Okay, and it blew up?
Yeah, he's on fire. He was walking out. He's burning.
Okay. Can you see him now?
No, I'm not looking. I can't look.
Okay.
The whole house is on fire. The whole patio.
Listen, they're coming as fast as they can. Keep everybody away from it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
They're on their way.
Rescue 26, ladder 26, engine 15, battalion 8, engine 18, engine 918, North Deputy, Fire Channel 6. Balance and assignment, engine 26, rehab 30, PI 3, CR 16, utility 50, Fire Channel 6, for reported working house fire, 3750 West San Miguel Avenue.
Coming in as a working fire on the back patio of a residence. As we were arriving, there was a lot of other messages coming over the MCT from the alarm room, you know, additional callers stating different information and even a different location. So I kind of got the idea that this was going to be a real event with the amount of communication the alarm room was doing with us en route. When we arrived, you could see the smoke coming from the rear of a residence. As we came around the corner, we had a hydrant on our right side that was ultimately the only hydrant in the area, and I knew we needed to secure that to get things started. So when we laid in and got out of the truck, flaked out our crosslay, a neighbor had got my attention and said that they had a victim in the back of the house, a burn victim. And when I looked to the rear, I saw a man standing there who was severely burned. And I knew he was going to need treatment right away.
Command to engine 15. 15 down. Okay, I'm going to reassign you to treatment. I got a burn victim in the rear of this house in the alley. You can access it from the property on the west. Copy that. Engine 15 is now treatment sector.
So we went up on the roof, and what we try to do, if we're not sure about what the conditions are as far as attic and the interior, we try to just tear off a vent and see what we can see rather than cut a hole right away. So one of my engineers did that, took one of the turbines off and looked down inside, and he could see that there was active fire in the attic. So from some of the traffic that I could hear on the radio, I could tell that they were at the back and they had some pretty decent load of fire in the back.
It's really ripping in the attic. Maybe you get it in the attic or give us a line up here.
So then from some more of the radio traffic, we learned that there was a victim, and so I kind of figured that they were going to be a little tied up with that. So we did in fact get a hand line from down below, and we started playing it into that vent hole just from the turbine that we had made.
So in that case, as soon as we did get on scene, I took command. I didn't waste any time. I tried not to ask him too many questions. I just took it because I knew he was busy. I was listening to his assignments, and I knew that he was interior. I knew he had his rescue with him. I knew that he had engine 15 as treatment. I immediately started weighing in the victim's portion of it. But from where we came, like I said, I saw a rescue. I saw another engine. I saw another couple trucks that were sitting just waiting for work. So I was able to make a plan in my own head of what I was going to do to help support his plan.
When we did finally get it in the attic again and knocked it down and went to the back patio, it kept lighting up in the attic for some reason. We couldn't figure out why. And as it turned out, the back patio was littered with all kinds of gas appliances, a stove, a barbecue, several propane bottles, and a lot of storage that were buried on top of the gas meter itself on the back patio.
So it looked like we might have pushed it towards the east of the house a little bit, towards the gable end. So we went down to the east and cut not a real big hole, but a big enough hole that we could get a hand line in there. We're successful in getting the fire out on that end of the house, but then it looked like it had moved over to the other end. Then I heard the radio traffic about the gas meter situation, and that kind of made sense then that we were getting a gas-fed fire. It was coming right up the back wall of the house and going right into the attic space.
I notified command at that point that this was a gas-fed fire, and had Ladder 26 had the opportunity to get utilities, and they had not. When the Ladder 26 engineer got to the back patio, there was still fire coming off of the meter. We had pulled the dryer away from it enough to get a person back there, and the hand line that I think engine 918 had stayed there to fog pattern the meter and the flames while the Ladder 26 engineer moved down to turn off the valve.
We came out, got the gas turned off at the meter.
We had a hand line in the attic on the inside. We had a hand line on the outside at the gas meter source. And my plan at that point was just to wait. You know, we were going to keep the fire at bay with the two hand lines, in addition to the hand line that the ladder company had deployed to the roof. So we were basically keeping that fire in check from 3 different areas: top, bottom, sides, and we're going to wait until somebody could stop the gas from flowing.
TJ Nellis was up on the roof, and he and I talked, and I said, why don't you go down and see if you can deal with the gas meter, because he has a little bit more knowledge about that than most individuals. So we stayed up, 2 guys stayed up on the roof. The deck felt really good. I felt really safe about being up there. TJ went down. Within 3 minutes, he had the gas meter shut off. And relatively quickly after that, we were able to get the attic fire between the guys underneath and the guys on top of the hand line, get it out, and everything was good.
The lesson in this one, I think, for everyone should be is listen to your radios. You know, not just captains have to listen to radios. Everybody on that fire ground has a radio for a reason. And I know it can be annoying, and I know there's a lot of chatter and seems like unimportant things being talked about over the radio sometimes. But when you hear key terms like victim or gas fed or lath and plaster or things like that, and you're listening to the radio, or my crew is listening to the radio, or my ladder company is listening to that radio, I know they're getting the message. I know that they know what I know at that point. And luckily that day those companies were listening, and they reacted appropriately, and we were able to solve the problem.
I think the fact that I was able to look inside and see that there wasn't a tremendous amount of fire and or smoke in the house gave me the indication that it was going to be either in the attic or all on the back, and I think that's really important to do. If you have that extra second to look inside, see what your conditions are. Also, like Captain Phelps said, the radio traffic on that particular call was really helpful to a lot of different companies, gave everybody a cue on what they may need to be doing next. So I think making sure that guys understand that I know you have to do work, but you also have to try to listen to that radio traffic in the background. Keeping the attic space confined, we tried to do that by playing the hose line into just that turbine that we had taken off, and I think that was really helpful on keeping it from getting really involved in the attic. If we had opened it way up, then it would have been much more air fed, so I think that was an important thing to learn off of it.
A big lesson I learned in this incident was how important the hand line to the roof was. If it wasn't for Ladder 26 attacking that fire from above, the structure fire itself would have turned out much differently. I'm sure of it. You know, when they got up there and didn't open the container until they had reported to us what they found was paramount in us being able to try and extinguish as much of it as we can before it was fed by a vent hole. Because of the lath and plaster that we had underneath, we weren't able to extinguish it all. And that's when Ladder 26 decided it was time to open the lid and flow water into the attic.
There's multiple lessons going away from this. And one is, like I said earlier, we have SOPs for a reason. And when guys follow these SOPs, they lay the supply line, they make a quick, aggressive interior attack, a coordinated roof effort, they can overcome the things that are thrown at them because we have those SOPs in place. And they did just that. They laid their supply line, they extended the hand line, they took on the victims as they came to them. We had units staged in the right position to take care of that. Although it was a tight, narrow road, everyone had the ability to get in and act quickly on it.
The communication was paramount on this. The calmness in their assignments, the professionalism in which all of these units carried out their assignments, and the speed in which they carried out their assignments really lends credit to them, the work that they do on a daily basis. They didn't wait for the incident to get better at it. They practiced ahead of time. They trained together ahead of time. They have those tabletop sessions and really made this a strong, smooth running scene that had a lot of variables in it that made it difficult for them to overcome. If you look 30, 40 years ago, most everything was a natural product, whereas now everything is a synthetic product. It's all man-made. Fires are progressing much quicker. The amount of fire is happening much sooner. It's making it much more difficult for our crews. We're learning the fact that when you open up something, you're actually providing air to the fire, and the fire is going to increase in size. So that coordination, if you relate it back to this scene right here, is the coordination between engine and ladder 26 was tremendous. They talked about the conditions they had, where they were at, they could see each other, they communicated with each other when they couldn't see each other, and coordinated that attack so that they had a line below the fire, a line above the fire, as well as a line that went to the back patio early on in this incident to try to control the amount of fire that they had. Again, gas-fed fire, propane-fed fire, lots of different fuel types on the back patio. It made it very difficult for them to control it quickly as maybe we're used to, but in this particular incident, it really lended credit to these two company officers on the first arriving units communicating with each other, knowing how fire is changing, and knowing the different things that they need to do to get out ahead of it. So a great job by all the responding units on this.